Hi, this is Giri Ramakrishnan, your Distrib360 contact. Today I'll be doing a demo of the Distrib360 payment analytics system. The focus of my demo would be how you as a customer can go ahead and perform in-depth payments related analytics using the Distrib360 system. So this is the login screen for the Distrib360 system. Let's just enter our ID and password. This is the first screen that you'll see. If you've actually seen my other sales analytics videos, I've gone ahead and explained how you navigate this page, but I'll just go ahead once again and do an explanation in short. You have to click the browse files here in order to get to the reports page or the click and use reports. And for getting to the on-demand analytics reports, you click on create new. Recents out here is, whenever you work with any reports, those that you opened up will show here as the recent reports that you worked on. Favorites is whatever reports you want and you want to actually put them as favorites, then they will start showing up here so that the next time when you come, you can come here and click and go ahead and browse the report. So let's get into the report section, click and use report section. So click on reports. Now what I have here is a comprehensive list of about 32 reports. This covers sales, invoice, and payments related reports. In this particular video, my focus is going to be on the payments and invoice related reports, so to speak of. The way I would like to approach this is, we'll probably go into what's called the list of invoices here. The idea would be let's just try and look at unpaid invoices, try and get all the unpaid invoices for the last 1 year, and then zoom in on maybe one or two unpaid invoices, and then go ahead and see how you can actually track those invoices and work on them. The second thing is maybe we can look at invoices where there have been part payments, and again let's look at how you would go into the next steps on those. So let's click here. So by default, what this is showing you is the list of invoices for this current week. Let's change it to all the invoices for the year. Let's change it to PDF as output type. So now what you have here is all the invoices for this current year and sorted based on invoice amount. You have other fields by which you can sort, say, overdue days. Let's say an unpaid invoice with max overdue is what would show at the top in that case. Let's just leave it as it is now. So if you go ahead and see here, these are all the invoices for this current year. And so the total invoice amount is about 213,000 rupees. So that's what it is. Now let's actually go in and look at all the unpaid invoices for this current year. So go ahead and click here to filter on the unpaid invoices. So what you see here now is all of the unpaid invoices for this current year. The total for this is about 108,000 rupees is the unpaid invoice. And what you see here on top is the one which is overdue the most because we've sorted it by overdue days. So let's take this first unpaid invoice as an example. So let's kind of go ahead and see the details of this invoice. Go to browse files, again click on invoice. This will give you the detailed invoice. So again, by default, this gives you all the detailed invoices for the current week. Let's select this year so that we get all the detailed invoices for this current year. Then let's just do a PDF. And let's now go to that Jaddu department store, Jaddu supermarket, yeah. And the invoice that we would actually like to go to is this number 172. So let's select 172 out here. So what you now have is, you know that this is an unpaid invoice and you have the details out here. So unpaid, again, another way to know it is when you look at an invoice detail in this payment history, if there is obviously no payment, then that's an unpaid invoice. And you also have the contact person information out here. So the idea being is you would be able to call up that person and maybe speak in terms of this unpaid invoice and obviously push it ahead in terms of getting it paid. So that's the objective behind this. Now let's look at invoices which have been paid in part. So there's been a partial payment in these invoices. Now, if you see this particular report, this report only shows that it's a part payment, but it does not actually show how much has been paid as part of that part payment. And it doesn't show how much is the pending amount. Let's actually maybe just go ahead and sort this now based on invoice amount. So the one with the highest invoice amount is what is going to show here at the top. So let's go to this particular customer's detailed invoice and see what it shows. So Murugan Department Stores, Murugan Stores. Yeah, Murugan Department Stores. And again, the invoice number we are interested in is 260. So let's go to 260. Again, when you see the details on this invoice, you see that the invoice is for about 6,000 rupees. And there have been two payments of 2,000 each. So that's why it's a part payment. So because it's not been paid in full. And you obviously have to collect 2,018 rupees. Same thing, you have all the contact information. So somebody can call them up and go ahead in terms of trying to get this invoice fully paid. So that's the idea behind these two reports. So let's go ahead and now actually this one, as I said, this doesn't show you the actual the pending amount and how much was paid and so on and so forth. One is maybe for an individual invoice, you look up here and you can see how much got paid. But otherwise, there is one nice report, which is this pending part payment report. Again, for this, let's go ahead and select the year. So now this is showing all the invoices which were paid in part. And let's just do a PDF. And let's actually sort this one also by invoice amount so that we have the same invoices that we can compare. So what you see here is Murugan Department Store, the same invoice. So it's 260 and the invoice amount is 6,000, paid amount is 4,000 and 2018 52 is the pending amount. So this report actually gives you all of the invoices which are part paid. So if you go down here, you'll see that this 22,253 is the current pending amount for all these invoices, which you can obviously go ahead and try to collect. So overall, my own thinking is these three reports, for the most part, should help you in looking at unpaid invoices, should help you in looking at part payments, and should also help you in managing both of those aspects of your business. Now let's just go ahead and look at some other payments related reports. There's one more report this is more of a general, maybe a list type of a report. This is payments collected, say, for this year. This is more informational in its nature. So what you see here is overall the payments that have been collected for this current year. So if you see, it's about 82,000 rupees is what you've collected for the current year. So again, as I said, this is more informational in what it provides. It's these three reports: list of invoices and the detailed invoice and the pending part payments. I think these are more action-based reports, so you can actually use them and get ahead in terms of getting your unpaid invoices paid and your pending invoices paid. So there's one more report that I have, which is useful. So this report, the top and unpaid invoice, this report would actually show you the top 10 customers, say for last year, the given year, and who owe you the maximum amount of money. It's kind of, you can get in one shot, you can know which customers owe you the maximum amount of money. So by default, it's giving you the week. So let's just change the filter to the year. And again, let's change it to top 10. And let's change it to PDF. I prefer PDF, that's why I always go to PDF. So if you see here, it's telling me that Vanilla's department store with about 14,000 rupees is the customer who needs to pay me the maximum. And as you go down, Venkatachalam is department store needs to pay me about 4,000 rupees. So this is more, this report, you can think of it more as an analytic report in the sense that it gives you a big picture in terms of, which customers owe you the maximum. But I guess, as I said before, the three reports, which is the list of invoices and this invoice detail and collections, which is the pending part payments report, I think this should help you a lot in terms of working with unpaid and part paid invoices, which I believe is the main job in terms of invoice and payments related analytics. So now let's go into on-demand analytics and see what we can do in terms of invoice and payments analytics. So what you see here on the left is that you're able to do invoice analytics, payments analytics, and sales analytics. So we'll first focus now here on the invoice analytics. So let's select invoice. Let's select year. So now what this is showing you is what is the invoiced amount for each of those years: 2015, 2016, 18, 17, and 18. So now let's click month. So now by month, it's showing you the total invoiced amount. Now just for focus sake, let's again go back similar to the reports. Let's focus on this current year, 2018. So 2018, the total invoices is invoiced amount is this much. Let's actually just do the total here. So this is the total invoice amount. Now let's try and split this invoice into one which is fully paid and one which is part paid and so on and so forth. So let's just go ahead and go here, go to invoice status, click. So now it's immediately showing me the one fully paid amount is 54,000, part paid is 50, and the unpaid amount is 108. So if you noticed, even in the other reports that we were doing, these were the numbers which were there. So pretty much, you can get to obviously for a given year, unpaid versus part versus paid, even in this fashion, and it's quite simple. So one thing now let's do is let's just try and do a further, maybe a slightly detailed analysis in terms of unpaid invoices out here. Now you see the number 60,000 out here. Let's try and see, what is the 60,000 unpaid invoice made up of. So there's a feature called the drill through capability. So you click here and you click on this, and then let's see what that 60,000 is actually made up of. So which are those invoices which are, obviously the status would be unpaid. So we click invoice status, and those invoices belong to which store, maybe who was the salesperson who was involved, when dealing with those invoices, and what is the invoice amount. So let's just click here. So now it's immediately showing you that 60,000 is actually all of these unpaid invoices. So obviously, your job would be to go ahead and look at this and try and get these paid in order to either reduce that number or make it a zero. So this is the ability to go into a number and see what that number is made up of. So it's it's a very useful way of analyzing your data. Now let's actually maybe try another query. Let's reset this. Try doing another example. Now select invoice. Let's maybe look at invoices by customer, overall invoices by customer. And so these are all the overall invoices by all the customers. Now let's again, from here, let's maybe, our objective is maybe let's look at current year unpaid invoices and then see obviously who are the top unpaid invoices and so on and so forth in that list. So let's try and go to that answer. So now this one is showing me all the invoices that includes all statuses. So let's first select and divide this up. So now you have, these are all the paid invoices, fully paid invoices. These are part payments and these are the unpaid invoices. Now what I want to do is actually just keep the unpaid ones. So let's filter unpaid invoices. Now this is my entire set of unpaid invoices. Let me also just go ahead and do a total. So this is my total of unpaid invoices for all of the years of data. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and do it for 2018. Now let's actually just put this here. So this is for all of the years. This is the set of unpaid invoices. Let me actually again also do one more thing, which is sort these invoices. So it goes by, this is Raja department has the top unpaid invoice amount, then Kavita, retail store, and so on and so forth. So, but this is for all of the years of data that I have. Now let me actually try and filter it and try and get it for only 2018. So let me take the year and put it here in this filter. So go to this and then select 2018. Say OK. So now it's showing you for 2018, it's actually showing you sorted. It's showing you the unpaid invoices. So like we had seen previously, even in the other report, this is what we saw. Vanilas had 14,000, then Lata, and then I think Venkatachalam, the 10th one, was about 4,000. So it's the same report now, but then you're able to go to it by creating, your own report. So it's really the objective of this analytics screens are that you are able to do your own reports. You have your measures and you have your fields or dimensions based on which you do your query, and then you throw them in and you can create different reports from there. Now, as I've probably told you in the sales analytics demo, you can actually take these, put them into Excel, you can put them into PDF, and so on and so forth. I won't go into those. Let's just click. So you can get these bar charts. Maybe we'll make it a column chart. So because it's sorted, obviously it's coming out in a nice order. Let's probably just do a pi in order to get a percentage. So again, immediately you see Vanilas is about 13% of the total unpaid invoice for the current year. Lata is 12, and so on and so forth. And again, as I said previously, you have a lot of charts available out here. So you can actually go in and use them. So, but obviously with any chart, it's really dependent on the type of data in terms of, what the chart comes to. So like this is a trend line. This is showing you that Vanilas has the highest unpaid invoice amount, and it goes on till what Robin department store has the lowest unpaid invoice amount. So that's what that is telling you. Then if you click here, this is a tree map. A tree map is something where again it shows, bigger the box, it's bigger the amount. So Vanilas has a bigger amount for the unpaid invoice amounts, and as you go along, it's getting smaller and smaller. And similarly here too, you can see there's a pie chart. So So we took two examples in terms of invoice analytics, and I just tried to show you how you can play around with the data and how you can do analytics with it. Now let's now go ahead and look at payments related analytics. So now let's select payments analytics. Let's take payments. Now let's take, these are all now what it's showing me is payments that you have received for all of the different years. Click months. Now payments, again, broken down by months that you've received. Let's again, for focus sake, let's focus on 2018. So these are all the payments that have been received. You can obviously do a total of all the payments that have been received. Now let's just go a little bit deeper and let's see customers who have made these payments. So let's actually go in here and let's select our customers, throw it in here. So now this is showing me for every month within 2018 the payments that you've received from the different customers. Now let's actually go in and look at, maybe this 14,000 is comprised of maybe 2 or 3 payments. So let's look at it from even more detail. Let's go to the individual payment numbers and then look at it from that perspective. So let's go here and let's select our payment number. And so now what you see is it's broken down by payment number. You're seeing these are the different payments. Now what we can do is we can actually, just in a single page, now we can cross, or we can kind of check this against the invoice. So let me select the invoice out here. So this is showing me the invoice. Let me also select the corresponding invoice number. So it kind of makes it more interesting. So let's get it. So now what you have is, for a given invoice number, this is payment. So these are obviously fully paid invoices. So let me just put invoice here on top so it's easier. So these are all fully paid invoices that you're seeing in this screen. Immediately, again, in some cases, for example, this for a single invoice, now you're seeing these two payments, and which the invoice amount was 2,095, but then it got paid by two payments, 1,000 and 1,095. And I think this was the Murugan department store that we were seeing there in our other example, 260. So if you see this, there are two payments and 2,000 and 2,000 each. So it's kind of easy for you to look at things from another perspective, so to speak of. And this one is, it's obviously giving you in one shot. It's kind of giving you an invoice along with the payments, and you're able to crisscross and compare. Let's maybe just add invoice status also to it, so to make it more interesting. So now it's divided it based on the ones which are fully paid on this side, and it's got all the ones which are partly paid on this side. So makes it much more easier for us to actually look at and analyze, so to speak of. So pretty much, so it's if we went to the Murugan store, so the 6,000 was the invoice. So there was one payment of 2,000, another payment of 2,000. So that's really what it is. At the end of the day, the objective of analytics is that you're able to actually go ahead, take all those components which are affecting that process. So the payments process is affected by all these major components, if you see. So it's affected by the customer, it's affected by the salesperson, the payment itself, maybe the order for which the payment is happening, the invoice against which the payment is happening, and the time period during which the payment is happening. And then you are able to actually throw in all that from here on to the right, and you're pretty much able to look at that data. And as you keep looking at the data, obviously you get better insights in terms of patterns that your data is showing. And from there on, you can make course corrections into your actual real life process, and based on which you can actually optimize the process. That's really the objective of all of these analytic systems. So the ability that you can do these things easily and then make changes to your real life process, and in turn optimize those processes. So this concludes my demo for the payments analytics section. So let me just log out. Just to recap on the entire Distrib360 product, you saw through part one of the demo how we captured the orders and payments information. And using that information, you saw how Distrib360 provides you for a huge array of sales and payments related analytics. You are able to see how your customers performed, you are able to see how your products performed, you are able to see how your salesperson performed, and this you're able to see based on varying time periods, weekly, monthly, yearly, and so on and so forth. It's actually this ability to look at different components of your business and see how they're doing, and look at them from all these various angles. That's what will give you deeper insights into how those processes are running. And essentially, those deeper insights will then give you clues on how to actually make course corrections and fine tune your business process, so to speak of. Now that's the power of analytics, which you will actually put into use in your business. My personal goal, so to speak of, is, I have actually seen analytics being used in large companies in a big way, and I've seen them use it very successfully. So I would definitely like that smaller companies and small businesses also actually start using the same analytics power and make it a competitive advantage for themselves. So hopefully Distrib360 would be a starting point for many a small business. For those who are interested in knowing more about the Distrib360 product and seeing how it can help you specifically in your business, you can reach me at giri_home@yahoo.com, and then we can touch base after that. Thanks for watching. Bye.